Hello, welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. We got daylight coming into play, so it's dark right now, but the sun will rise. We're running late because I was uploading something for the future, but it's a good video. Well, you might not think it's good. It's long. It's a new double down, but I'm going to post that tomorrow. All right. Here at Dawn, got Jack Daniel's number 8, not old number 8, but Jack Daniel's number 8, the green label, the rare green label. Most states, including Louisiana, you cannot get it. I have to go to Orange, Texas, 206 miles west of here to get it. I'm not driving that far to get Jack Daniel's green label. This is a liter bottle. It was purchased $25 after tax, I think, something like that. Thank you, Sandra, for getting this for me. All right, it's a gift. Here's the competitor, Ancient Age. Aged 3 years, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, sour mash whiskey, introduced in 1936. This is the rare gold label, not the common khaki label or cream colored label. Sour mash, Tennessee whiskey, which is a type of bourbon, no matter what people say. But it's called Tennessee whiskey because it's made in Tennessee. Get it? All right. Ancient age is sour mash. Age at least 4 years because it has no age statement. So it has to be at least 4 years old. Age 3 years. We know that because it says on the neck, age 3 years. Even though the website says 6 years. They need to update their website. This is from Brown-Forman. Now you say, oh man, Jack Daniels got bought out. Yes, they got bought out in 1956 by Brown-Forman. Not exactly recently, 65 years ago. Ancient Age was started by a company called Barton, I think. I think Barton had this. It said Ancient Age Distilling, but it wasn't really that. And then Sazerac bought Barton in 2009, so it's a Buffalo. It's made at Buffalo Trace. It's a Sazerac brand. AA. People say you need to go to AA. No, I cannot go to AA because there is no AA. It's Buffalo Trace. It's BT. There is no Ancient Age Distilling, okay? Now, I know what it says. Distilled, aged, and bottled by Ancient Age Distilling Company of Frankfort, Kentucky. Yeah. And then it tells you right below, greatbourbon.com. That's the website. But there is no Ancient Age Distilling Company. It's Buffalo Trace, like the man on the phone told me. He said, we have like 50 different names. I said, you mean alias names? That made a hiss. He said, yeah, alias names for Buffalo Trace. Because I had called him about Tijuana tequila, which is bottled at Ancient Age, meaning it's bottled at Tijuana Distilling Company. Yeah, Buffalo Trace. And then he was telling me that the name of the distillery was actually an alias called Gonzalez in Mexico. He said that's really not the real name. He said the name was something like Mia. It sounded like he said Maestri Distilling. I said Maestri. Well, whatever it is, they make a lot of tequila at NAM 1143. And the reason I called him because nowhere on the tequila bottle did it say made in Mexico, and it had no NAM. Well, you don't have to. Apparently, you don't have to have a NAM, a number, official Mexican number, if it's mixed tequila, mixed. But if it's 100% agave, it has to have a NAM. So whatever. He said no. He checked the records and he wrote me back 2 days later on an email. He said it's made in Mexico at NAM 1143. No. All right, so I might look up Maestri Distilling. I think that's what he said. Well, they're both the same shade. Straight up amber. Here's what Great Bourbon says. Now, I'm telling you, there's a mistake right here. They're showing Blanc Eagle Rare. No, I don't want Eagle Rare. They're showing Blanton's, Eagle Rare, Double Eagle, Buffalo Trace, Stag, all kind of Stag bottles, Buffalo Trace Experimental Edition, all these special things. Taylor, all kind of Taylor, Stag, Pappy Van Winkle, Elmer T. Lee, Barton 1792, Bowman's, Weller, Hancock, Very Old Barton, Kentucky Gentleman, which is blended bourbon, Kentucky Tavern, which is a great deal at Dornax, $8.99 a liter, Benchmark, McAfee's Benchmark, Old Number 8, Ancient Age, Old Charter, Charred Oak, French, Mongolian, and Canadian Oak. Here's what they say about Ancient Age 10-star. This 6-year-old, nope, wrong, it's 3 years old. Now, they might make a 6-year-old, you understand? So maybe I'm wrong. My bottle says 3 years old. Because Sazerac got all kind of brands that they show and then all kind of brands they don't show. Has flavor to be savored by all bourbon enthusiasts, marked by its sweetness and heavy rye flavor. It's an easy bourbon to sip. And I'm not going to read all those notes because I put the link below. Now, Jack Daniel's website, Our Products. You won't see the green label listed anywhere on Our Products. You can look it up. Check me if you want. They don't show it. Now, it's a pretty bottle. They got National Historic Register, which will not protect the place from destruction. Believe me, I can prove that. The National Historic Registry is only a list. It's not a preservation. Cities will destroy old properties and old artwork. Established and registered in 1866, 1 liter. Jack Daniel's Old Time Distillery, Old Time Sour Mash. Number 7, Lem Motlow, proprietor, Lynchburg, Tennessee. Yeah, well, Lem Motlow is not the proprietor anymore since he died a long time ago, but you get the picture. That's the old label, but it's not the old number 7. But under frequently asked questions, FAQs, it says, is Jack Daniel's a bourbon? Jack Daniel's is not a bourbon. Wrong. See, they're wrong, but I can prove that, but I don't want to argue with them right now. What is Jack Daniel's Green Label Tennessee Whiskey? So they explain that on there. What is Jack Daniel's Green Label Tennessee Whiskey? Good morning, Jay. Good morning, Jack. So anyway, we're going to determine right now which is better. I don't know which is going to be better, okay? The price, Ancient Age is $15. Jack Daniel's Old Number 8 for $7.50 is about $18. So we're talking about a $3 difference. Is Jack Daniel's going to be $3 better? No, and they're both kind of rare. Try to find in the green label. Now, if you go to Texas, every liquor store has a green label. Every liquor store. But in Louisiana, no liquor store has it. I've never seen Ancient Age anywhere in any store in my life except for Bonita Plaza Liquors on Mississippi Highway 19 northbound, just south of Interstate 59/20 in Meridian, Mississippi. And that is a fact. I've said to myself, if I don't buy this bourbon, I'm never going to see it again. I did buy it, and I have never seen it again. All right. I looked on Total Wine and More. Now, they have a huge selection of every kind of thing you ever thought of. And they might say, like, well, we don't have it in your town, but you can find it in California or something. I'm talking about, like, obscure things. I looked up Ancient Age. No listing. Ancient Age? Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Every store that they have has that. Ancient age 10 star. Forget about it. Forget about it. Forget about it. All right, here we go. Jack Cottrell. Here we go. Oh, well, it smells like corn, you know. Corn grits, oak barrel, charred wood, and all of that. Because, you know, bourbon, if you don't know, bourbon is mostly corn. My uncle said, you know, bourbon's nothing but corn whiskey. Well, I didn't know that when he told me that because I didn't know anything about liquor back then. I said, yeah. He said, they gave it a fancy name. It is corn whiskey, and but it's aged in charred oak barrels. All right. Corn whiskies aged in uncharred oak barrels. It's the same thing. You say, oh, I was drinking mellow corn and it was yellow. And I drank some ancient age and it was amber. I know, because the charred oak makes it turn red. That charred oak, you know, it sucks up the carbon, the charcoal, and then it makes it turn that color. After 2 years, that's the minimum to be straight bourbon. After 3 years, it's darker. After 4 years, it's darker. After 5 years, it's darker. And if you have heavy char, it's going to be really dark. That's the number 4 char. If you have a light char, number 1, it'd be light. You see, so, but corn whiskey. So you could take the same exact mash bill, all right, process it if you're in Canada, or process it if you're in the United States. Do everything the same, but age one in charred oak and the other one in uncharred oak. One is corn whiskey, one is bourbon. All right. Do the same thing in Canada, and it's Canadian whiskey. You say, but it's bourbon. You can't call it bourbon. All right. You can call it bourbon style whiskey, and you may have trouble doing that. You see, with Crown Royal bourbon mash, the U.S. government's like, oh, no, you can't call it bourbon mash. Well, actually, the U.S. government didn't care at first. They said, oh, we don't care. But then the bourbon manufacturers were saying, no. Beer hounds, beer reviews, what up, playa? Just keeping it real, handling minds. So then Crown Royal was like, oh, golly. So they had to change the name to Blender's Mash. But I got a bottle of the bourbon mash. Found an older bottle lying around in a store, and I bought it. You know what it tastes like? Bourbon. Ha ha ha. Pretty much. Except there's one difference. They're aging it in used barrels. Okay. This smells like the other one, but it's a little less charred, oaky-ish. Okay. I think the 90 proof versus 80 proof is going to give it away, but I'm not sure. Now the aroma, I'm not sure. Like there's a lot of corn and oak char and barrel and all of that. You know what I'm saying? And hoping for results. Oh, well, no comment. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Say no more. At this point of the taste challenge, I've not tasted yet, and I don't know which is which. Which do I prefer on the aroma? Now, the appearance is the same, so there is no difference there. Aroma. It's nice, you know, bourbon kind of thing. I would bring in that Crown Royal bourbon mash, but then people would say, no, it's you're cross-lining. It's Canadian whiskey, and it is, you know, so. But it's only cross-lining in a technical sense. In a practical sense, it would be part of it, you know. But I don't want to cause controversy, like they say in merry old Lockdown. What's the name of that country now? They changed the name. You might have heard that. Merry old Lockdown. Uh, this one is not as strong in the nose, but I really have no clue. I have no clue. They both smell nice. And all right, the taste. Cheers to your morning. Top of the morning to you. They say that in the land of Ireland. The land of Ireland. How you like that? The Office of Redundancy Office. They even asked the color of the baby's skin. Who said that? Oh, I can't say. Yeah, right. Of course you can't say. 'Cause I'm a liar. I'll turn you into me. I'll turn you into me. You bought that line. Oh, I can't believe people fall for everything they see on CBS television on Sunday. Then my boss, hey, well, anyway, if you allow yourself to be that manipulated by nefarious forces, you don't deserve to have any title. You don't deserve any government position because you're obviously unfit to be. You say, oh, it's like Edward the Eighth. Loony as Edward the Eighth. I think so. Loony as mama. You're crazy like your mama. All right. The Queen's government's gonna dance toodly-too all over your head. You an ant fighting a gorilla. All right. Oh no, can't say gorilla. Anyway. We were thicker than molasses back in law school. Anyway, oh wow, let me go get some bacon and eggs because I'm eating grits right now. Corn, corn, corn. Hey, let's go to the Corn Palace. Where's that? North Dakota? Isn't that the name of their dome stadium for the university? Because they got no professional teams, of course, in North Dakota. The Corn Palace. People are going to take it the wrong way. They're going to say, oh, there he goes again. He hates corn. He's an anti-cornite. I don't hate corn. I like corn. I work with corn. Senator, you're no corn. No, I mean, I like corn. I wouldn't go out into a cornfield to have a meeting with some people if I was with my brother. You know, I wouldn't, if the guy was Frankie, I wouldn't go. They say, come on, we got to talk about some things. I wouldn't go out there, you know, but other than that, I'm not an anti-corn. I'm not saying I'm in love with it. I'm not saying I'm in love with it. It's a practical product. It has a purpose. You can ferment it. You can distill it. You can make it into whiskey. Okay, fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's not as great as people claim. You say, well, the bourbon people say it's great. I guess they do. They're trying to sell it. You say Miller High Life uses corn. We eat corn on the cob. I agree with everything you're saying. And I'm agreeing with my own hypothetical counterpoints. I'm just saying that I'm not in love with whiskey that's made with all of this corn. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to stir up trouble. I'm not trying to flame people's outlook on life, their perceptions of reality. I'm not trying to cause cognitive dissonance or any of these things. I'm just saying that I am not necessarily in love with this type of whiskey. But on the other hand, I'm not necessarily opposed to it either. It's just not my top flight desire. Of course, I said that last night with wit beers, Belgian wit beers. I said I don't even like Belgian wit beers, to tell you the truth. But I still scored the Hugotten a 93. And then I was sipping on it while I was watching the rest of that show, which I'm gonna watch later today. And I had to admit I did like it, but I would never reach for it. You know what I'm saying? I would never say, "Oh, boy, I just want to drink a Belgian wheat beer." I never would say that. Never, 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 never. Do I ever wake up or lay down or walk around or sit down and think to myself, "Oh, golly, I love to drink some bourbon"? No, I never think that. Nope. Nope. On the other hand, it's a taste challenge. Okay, fine. I'll taste it, try to tell them apart, and give a fair evaluation. I don't know what else I can do. Don't know what else I should do. Well, they're both very nice, even excellent. They are excellent. They are in the 90s because let's be honest, enough's enough. You got enough Jack Daniels haters out there to tile a swimming pool. You know what I'm saying? If you just say Jack Daniels, here they come running up, even though you weren't talking to them. I hate Jack Daniels. I hate Jack Daniels. And then you say, well, I wasn't even talking to you. And why are you telling me this? I didn't ask for this information. But they feel compelled, well, I'm trying to establish street credibility. Because if I go around saying I hate Jack Daniels, it makes me fit in better with all the bourbon people. Great. It's like if you say the Grateful Dead. There's somebody come running across a field and he'll catch up to you and he's breathing hard. It's like, what's wrong with you? I just needed to tell you, I hate the Grateful Dead. I hate them. And you're like, okay, why did you feel the need to tell me that? Because I hate the Grateful Dead. They're terrible. I listened to every one of their albums 50 times and I hate them. Do you have any of their albums? Well, yeah, I have them all. Oh, and you hate them. Yeah, I hate them. They're the worst. Well, don't listen to them. All right. Go buy a box of Rain or go tell somebody about the addicts of your life. I mean, I didn't ask for you to tell me you hated the Grateful Dead. Okay. This is the Jack Daniels. Yeah, this is the Jack Daniels, I do believe. It's smooth, mild, mellow. See, that's what their calling card is, mellow. It's easygoing. The company claims it's inferior to the Black Label, and perhaps it is. It's cheaper. But I know a lot of people that say, no, that's not true. The Green Label's better. They don't want you to know that, it's some conspiracy theory. No. And they'll be looking for the Green Label. Now, I asked my father. He was a big drinker in the 70s and the 80s. Oh, yeah, and the 90s and the 60s. But anyway, he had to give it up. Too much fun, too fast, too many decades, But he said, I asked him, I said, hey, you ever heard of Jack Daniels Green Label? He said, well, yeah, that's the cheaper one. I said, what you mean? He said, well, I went to a party one time. We were going to a dance. He said, we were going to a dance. I mean, remember they used to have dances, He said, so they told me, buy some liquor. He didn't care anything about the liquor, So he said, well, I'll just buy Jack Daniels. That's common, like Coca-Cola. So he went to the liquor store, meaning the grocery store in Louisiana. And he told the guy, give me it's probably a convenience store. If you had to ask behind the counter, give me the Jack Daniels. Oh, give me the Green Label. I said, why you bought the Green Label? He said it was cheaper. But all they did was mix it with Coke, RC Cola or Coke. They weren't going to sit there and drink it neat. That's not how they operated. He said, I never could stand whiskey and alcohol, liquor. I said, why'd you drink it? Oh, he said, just to get drunk or act crazy. Just what you were supposed to do. You grew up in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. That was like culturally what you're supposed to do. I said, oh, okay. He said, I felt terrible. Oh, I felt so bad the next day. Oh, I felt so bad. I said, are you glad you stopped drinking? He said, I'm so glad. I used to feel so bad, so bad. I said, well, you drink beer all the time. He said, I couldn't stand the taste of beer. I said, you drank beer for like 50 years and you couldn't stand the taste of it? He said, yeah, I just drank it for the effect, in other words. I said, so basically you use beer as a drug. Yeah. He said, I use beer as a drug. And my grandmother was saying, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. He said, why? It's the truth. I said, well, we have a different approach. Don't we? He said, yeah. Now, I asked my friend Paul, who lives in Montgomery, Texas. I say Egypt, Texas, but he said nobody calls it Egypt. Magnolia, Texas. Sorry, Magnolia, but I say Montgomery. But Magnolia. I said, you ever heard of the Jack Daniel's Green Label? True story I'm about to tell you. He was quiet on the phone. He didn't say anything. He said, what you mean? I said, you know, the Jack Daniel's Green Label. You ever heard of that? He said, isn't that what Jack Daniel's is, the Green Label? He's in Texas now. I said, oh. He said, oh, yeah, they got the Black Label too. Listen to this. They have the Black Label too. I said, well, you know, the Green Label's only sold in like 5 states, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Texas, and a couple of others. He said, well, over here, that is the Jack Daniel's, the Green Label. That's what everybody drinks. The Black Label is like kind of around. I said, that's a different paradigm because in the rest of America, I live in America, it's the black, you know, of course, the ubiquitous Black Label. So it's so fascinating to see these different perceptions of a product. If you go to Texas, this is what people think of when you say Jack Daniel's. It's common. It's like Jack Daniel's. You go to Louisiana, if you showed up in Louisiana with this, people would be looking like, this label's green. Yeah, olive green. It's a nice looking green. It's like sort of an olive green type thing, like a Baylor University 1983 football uniform type of situation. All right, or the Notre Dame when they wear the green once every 10 years. You say, well, this is a taste challenge, not a label challenge. I wish it was a label challenge because I think Ancient Age might win. That's a great label. I mean, that's a great label. Look at that. I mean, it's the same old Buffalo Trace bottle that they use on everything. You know that. But the label is fine. They're both great, though. They're both great labels. It's a tie. They're both great. They're great. Havana's great. Okay. I know people are buying these to mix. I'm not a fool. For the city. Fool for the city. I'm not a fool, though. But I do neat. I only do it neat. I sip them neat. I don't like to mix. But I know 99% of the people buying these two products are mixing them. I know that. Mixing it with Coke, Hawaiian Punch. What they mixing it with? Seagram's ginger ale and all of that. Or making old fashions. I mean, I don't know who buys ancient age 10-star makes old fashions, but I bet they're out there. You say you're wrong. They're mixing it with Hunts. You heard me. What's that tomato juice they got? V8. They're mixing it with V8. You know that. Okay, fine. Or Coca-Cola. But I'm doing it neat, and I think that I can't tell them apart. So, good morning, says JRZSHR. All right, so my final analysis is that one is 90 proof and one's 80. So if you sip on both of these, you're going to be like, woo, you want to see helicopters? You know, and you're going to be like, I'm going to make the meat. I'm going to make all the meat, you know, that kind of thing. A hat? Just do it, you hick. You'll be in that kind of situation. Like, Lois, do you know what we're involved in here? Do you understand what we're involved in here? I don't care. I don't go anywhere without my hat. And that's a game. But I got scared, Henry. I got scared. But I think daylight has arrived, thankfully. Um, I could see he was nervous. He hadn't touched a thing. And he wanted to be by the window so he could see who was in the parking lot. But anyway, I think this is the ancient age because it's a little bit stronger. It's not actually significantly stronger or impressively stronger or even notably stronger, but I think the 90 proof is there. But in my booklet, I would just write it down as ancient age, ancient age, 10 star as the winner. By virtue of saving $3, you do get 10% more proof, 90 versus 80. 45% alcohol versus 40. You do have less aging though, 3 years versus 4. But it's a balancing act. Not much of a balancing act. We talking less than $20 a bottle for both. They're inexpensive, we will call that, but not super inexpensive. Like I told you, I can get Kentucky Tavern, 3-year age, 80 proof, straight Kentucky bourbon whiskey at Dornax for $8.99 a liter, and that's the one I'd be buying, of course. But that's not being addressed right now. So we'll say ancient age for the win. Ancient age for the win. I've been on the Jack Daniels tour, and the next day I went to the Ancient Age tour. I mean the Buffalo Trace tour. So I've been on both tours. Which tour is better? Well, they're both great, but Jack Daniels was $17 and Buffalo Trace was free. Now you figure that out. I think we all know which is the better tour, free or $17. And Jack Daniels was tight on the samples. They gave you like 1 ounce of each. I said, oh boy, we were really great. We're going to try 4 different bourbons today. 4 different Tennessee whiskeys today, they said. And the audience was like, yeah. And then they brought out these things and they had little plastic cups of 1 ounce each. I said, oh boy. I went to Buffalo Trace the next day and they're like, we're going to take samples. And they weren't giving you no little 1 ounce. And then the guy's like, now look, folks, if you drive after this, we are not responsible. I like to make it a disclaimer, but that's just that was actually what happened. I'm not making that up. All right, anyway, but I had to do it. I had to say that in my life I went to Jack Daniel's distillery. You know what I'm saying? I had to do it. I had to do it. So this is Ancient Age. Oh no, it's the other bourbon. Damnation. It's the Jack Daniels. Well, just goes to show you I couldn't even tell them apart, but I saved $3 buying the Ancient Age. Are you Tuco from Breaking Bad? Tight. I'm not Tuco. I've never watched that. I don't watch movies and I don't watch television shows. You say you're crazy. Everybody does. No, I only watch the news and sports. That's a true story. And beer reviews, of course, on YouTube. But I watch college basketball and I watch the news. But a movie, I can't watch a movie. Although I like the one where they tried to get the little clock hooked up so that the DeLorean could go back and get straight. But I was watching that the other day with my father. I said, this is really not a good movie because it's so pat. It's so expected, so ridiculous. But people love it. But I could have written that story, and I'm not a writer. Ronald, do you smoke cigars? Says the WA. I'll prefer not to answer that comment at this particular time, which answers the comment. Anyway, that's it. I didn't get it right. I couldn't tell them apart. And so even now, that doesn't mean that you can't tell them apart. That means I couldn't tell them apart. You might taste them and say, this is clearly Ancient Age, 90 proof. I know my whiskey. You don't. Okay. Fair enough. I never claimed to be a whiskey expert. I'll just say I taste them. He's on the cigarettes. Oh, okay. Thrash Metal Homebrew and Barbecue says, cheers, Ron. Cheers to you. Wow, it's early over there. 5:35 a.m. in Colorado. Well, there's the sun. No clouds in the sky. Looks like time to go walking a half a mile. I've got a beer review to do later on, and not much later. It's Oh, wish me luck. It's going to be strong, 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 strong. Y'all take care now. Howdy and goodbye.